Today we'll be looking at capacity conversion. So the prerequisites for capacity conversion are multiplication and division. So there are different types of units used for measurement. For example, meters are used to measure distance and length, grams are used to measure mass, and liters are used to measure volume and capacity. So for example, if we want to measure a car here, we'll say that it's 5 meters because we're measuring how long it is. For example, this metal coin, we'll say that it weighs about 5 grams. We're measuring how heavy it is or how much mass or the weight of it. And then for a water bottle, let's say this water bottle has 5 liters of water. We're measuring the volume and capacity of it. So today's focus will be looking at the unit of capacity. So the capacity is measured in liters, and it tells us the volume or how much of a substance is in a container. So there are different prefixes that we will see. For example, we'll see milli, centi, and kilo. And in this scenario, looking at capacity, 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter, 100 centiliters is 1 liter, 1 kiloliter is 1,000 liters. So we see that kilo is greater than centi and milli. And here again, milli means thousandths, so you multiply by 0.001. Centi means hundredth, or multiply by 0.01. Kilo means 1,000, so you multiply by 1,000. So here's a table that shows some of the units of capacity. So the prefix milli, centi, kilo. We see the actual unit, so like milliliter, centiliter. We see liter and kiloliter. We see the abbreviation of it, so like ml, cl, l, kl, and the conversion for it. So we see that 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter, 100 centiliters is 1 liter, 1 liter is 1 liter, and 0.001 kiloliters is 1 liter. So to convert from one unit to another, you will either multiply or divide by a factor of 10. And we see that with this little flow chart. So we see the liter, we see the milliliter, the centiliter, as well as kiloliter. And we see that to go from milliliter to centiliter, you have to divide by 10. But if you want to go from centiliter to milliliter, you'll multiply by 10. And same thing with kiloliter and liter, you divide by 1,000 if you want to go from liter to kiloliter. Or from kiloliter to liter, you multiply by 1,000. So what if you want to go from milliliter to liter? So you have to divide by 10, 10 again, and 10 3 times. You have to divide by 10 3 times. So that's the same thing as dividing by 1,000 if you want to go from milliliters to liters. So here's a quick little example. So the question is, convert 400 milliliters to liters. So we saw that to go from milliliters to liters, divide by 10 3 times, or you divide by 1,000. So yeah, to convert from milliliters to liters, you would have to divide by 10 3 times. So we say that 400 milliliters divided by 1,000 equals 0.4 liters. Make sure to change your units when you do conversion. So here's a quick in-depth example that I'll talk over. The question is, you bought a 7.5 liter bottle of water from the market. How many milliliters is it? So we know that to go from liters to milliliters, you have to multiply by 1,000. So in this case, since we have a 7.5 liter bottle of water, we have to multiply 7.5 by 1,000. And we do this because 1,000 milliliters are in 1 liter. So 7.5 liters times 1,000 is 7,500 milliliters. So here's a question from the CXC CPA Guide 1 Math test. This is question 26. So the question is, container P is filled with juice containing container Q. How many container Q will it take to fill container P? So I'll give you a few seconds to pause the video to work this one out, and whenever you're ready, unpause and I'll explain it in a bit. So here's like the quick explanation of it. So we know that container P is 3 liters, and we want it to be in the same units. So we take container P and convert it from liters to milliliters, and we know that there are 0.001 liters in a milliliter, or in other words, 1,000 milliliters in a liter. So we take container P, which is 3 liters, multiply by 1,000 to get 3,000 milliliters. So that means container P is 3,000 milliliters. So now we know that the containers are in the same units. We can find out how many container Qs are in container P. The question stated that container Q was 500 milliliters, and now that the containers are both in milliliters, we can kind of convert, kind of divide. So we take one single 3,000 milliliter container divided by 500 milliliter containers, and we get 6 containers. So we do 3,000 divided by 500 equals 6. So in other words, this means that 6 500 milliliters containers can fit in one 3,000 milliliter container. So that means A is the right answer.